In 1921, Paul Amadeus Dienach, a Swiss-Austrian teacher with fragile health, falls into a one-year-long coma. During this time, his consciousness slides into the future and enters the body of another man in the year 3906. When Dienach awakens from his coma, he finds himself back in 1922. Knowing that he doesn't have much time left, he writes a diary recording whatever he could remember from his amazing experience. Dienach detailed mankind's history in the forthcoming centuries, from the nightmare of overpopulation and world wars, up until the world-changing globalization, the radical new administration system, the colony on Mars, and the next human evolutionary stage. Without any close friends and relatives to entrust, he doesn't say a word to anyone out of fear of being branded a lunatic. Before he dies, he hands his diary to his favorite student, George Papachatzis, who later became a prominent professor of law and rector of Panteion University of Greece. The diary circulates as hidden knowledge amongst high-ranking Masons in the lodges of Athens. In 1972, Professor Papachatzis, despite an intense dispute, decides to publish Dienach's diary in Greek. Today, we will embark on a journey to unravel Dienach's memoirs from the future and gain a glimpse into what our future might hold. It all started in 1921 when Dienach fell into a coma due to a severe case of encephalitis lethargica. Encephalitis lethargica was also known as sleepy sickness, not to be confused with the sleeping sickness transmitted by the tsetse fly. This was a condition that attacked the brain, causing severe lethargy, high fever, and even paralysis in some cases. The most disturbing part was its unpredictable nature. Some people would recover completely, while others would remain in a coma for years or even decades. For Dienach, it was a coma that lasted a full year. As Paul drifted between consciousness and oblivion, he awoke in a room that was both unfamiliar and unsettling. The people around him donned strange clothes and spoke a peculiar blend of English and Swedish, languages Paul recognized but barely understood. Communication was a struggle until a doctor speaking broken German approached him. This doctor introduced Paul not as himself but as Andreas Northam, a physics professor who had been in an accident. Glancing into a mirror, Paul was shocked by the reflection staring back at him. It was not his own. He protested, insisting he was a Swiss language teacher from the year 1922, not a physicist named Andreas Northam. The doctors, taken aback by his assertion, fell silent for a moment before an elder physician gently informed Paul that he was actually in the year 3906. As the blinds were drawn back from a window, Paul gazed out to see skyscrapers piercing the clouds and vehicles zipping through the air, defying gravity. The shock was too much, and he fainted. When Paul regained consciousness in this futuristic year of 3906, he found himself interacting with a revolutionary piece of technology called the Schwager. Far advanced from the simple books of his time, this device displayed three-dimensional images that moved and glowed in the dark, complete with sounds and music. His medical caretakers encouraged him to learn about historical periods. Through the Schwager, Paul learned that the years 2000 to 2300 were particularly challenging for humanity, grappling with overpopulation and regional conflicts. By 2204, humans had colonized Mars, and within 60 years, the Martian population soared to 20 million. However, a catastrophic event in 2265 obliterated the colony, and humanity never attempted to resettle Mars. In 2309, a nuclear war ravaged most of Europe, sparing only the Baltic and Scandinavian regions. This war dragged on for 80 years, decimating much of the human population. In the year 2396, a new era dawned with the establishment of the Rector, a global government formed to end the centuries-long war. Initially corrupt and dominated by the wealthy, it faced resistance for 200 years. Over time, the governance of the world shifted from politicians and businessmen to scientists, philosophers, and humanitarians, heralding a new age of reform. By 2823, a leader named Thorhild introduced an economic system based on global adequacy rather than scarcity, redefining the societal focus towards the greater good. This societal transformation meant that individuals contributed to the workforce for only 40 years before retiring. The society ensured that all their material needs were met by the global community. As technological advancements continued to evolve, the nature of work and life transformed dramatically. By the time Paul Dienach finds himself in 3906, the societal structure has advanced to the point where individuals only need to work for 2 years. Education extends through childhood, and at the age of 17 individuals enter the workforce. They work intensely for approximately 2 years, after which they retire to enjoy a life where all their material needs, food, shelter, clothing, and education are provided for by the community. Money, as it was known in the past, has become obsolete, replaced by a system that values contributions in art and science over financial wealth. By 3906, the very nature of humanity has evolved. Paul learns of a phenomenon that began around the year 3000, where humans developed a new sense organ that enabled them to perceive new planes of existence and access vast spiritual knowledge. This ability, referred to as over-sin, sons, or supervision, provided individuals with instant enlightenment, which brought feelings of immense happiness and spiritual peace, described as divine joy and acceptance of death. Initially, the intensity of this experience proved too much for individuals, leading to their deaths. However, by the year 3382, humans had adapted, and the activation of this new perception became a normal part of life, heralding the rise of a new species, Homo occidentalis novus, or New Western Man. Despite his surprise, Paul found these future humans, who behaved like carefree children, very strange. His friend Stefan explained that although humans had made contact with extraterrestrial beings, these aliens preferred to observe rather than interfere, having intervened only when necessary. As the story of Paul Dienach unfolds, it blurs the lines between reality and illusion, leaving us to wonder whether his experiences were a true glimpse into the future, or merely the vivid dreams of a man in a coma. His detailed account is well documented in a book with over 300 pages. In the end, whether truth or fiction, Paul Dienach's tale challenges us to think about the possibilities of human evolution and the changes that could reshape our understanding of existence. If you liked this story, please leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe for more. Thank you.